There's one more thing we need to do before we wrap up Sonic Month 2022. We've played 31 games over the course of 31 days. And now it's time to rank them. Oh, Sir Ashu, thank you for the follow. Yes, I've set up a little tier maker list, as you can see, with all 31 classic era Sonic games. We have, in order, Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 16-bit, the game that started it all. Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 8-bit. Joking. Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 8-bit. Sonic Eraser. Waku Waku Sonic Patrol Car. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, 8-bit. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, 16-bit. Sonic CD. Sonic Chaos. Sega Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic Spinball, 16-bit. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, 16-bit. Sega Sonic Cosmo Patrol Fight. No, Sega Sonic Cosmo Fighter. Gosh, I can't remember what it was called. You know the one, the rocket one. Sega Sonic Popcorn Shop. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, 8-bit. Sonic 3. Sonic Drift. Sonic Spinball, 8-bit. Sonic the Hedgehog's Game World. Tails and the Music Maker. Sonic and Knuckles. Triple Trouble. Sonic Drift 2. Or Sonic Drift Racing. Knuckles Chaotix. Tails Sky Patrol. Tails Adventure. Sonic Labyrinth. Sonic Championship, or Sonic the Fighters. Sonic Schoolhouse. Sonic 3D Flicky's Island, or Sonic 3D Blast. Sonic Blast. And Sonic R. And we have 5 tiers. We have excellent, good, okay, poor, bad, and then at the bottom I've also added a 6th tier, unranked, and you'll see when we get to that. So what we're going to do, guys, first of all, I'm going to list these in the various tiers. Waku Waku S tier. I'm going to list these in the various tiers and put the Xbox controller down, actually, so I don't accidentally press some button combination. And then once we've got them all into the tiers, we're going to rank them from there as well, so it's going to be left to right, best to least best, you know. So, quick little swig of the old water, stay hydrated. Right. No, I'll leave that as is. So first off then, Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 16-bit, Mega Drive game, 1991. Iconic. One of the most important video games of all time. I don't think there's any denying that. It's a classic. When this came out, it was a complete revolution in video gaming. It changed what people perceived could be done with platform games. It shook up the genre, basically. Platform games before then were quite often a little slow, a little clunky, and after Sonic, everyone was sort of like, oh, we can change that up. Didn't know that. Obviously, Mario is a class of its own when it comes to platform games, but now Mario had a little competition in the form of Sonic. You've got some of the most iconic tunes in the entire series run. You've got some of the most memorable levels in the series run. It's the most incredible pick-up-and-play gameplay that gaming had ever seen, quite frankly. It's intuitive, it's momentum-based, it's brilliant. A complete neophyte can pick up Sonic 1 and 100% understand exactly how to play it. And that's what happened back in 91, and it changed everything. And for all those reasons, and so many more, Sonic 1 is going in the excellent tier. And it had blast processing and did what Nintendo didn't, you're quite right. Sonic 1 on the Game Gear then, the 8-bit one, Game Gear Master System. It is impossible for me to be unbiased on this one, because it was my first game. This changed my life. There are so many things in my life today that, were it not for this game, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have an enormous poster from Sonic the Comic behind me. I wouldn't have met the writing staff from Sonic the Comic. I wouldn't have made several of my best and closest friends through Sonic, were it not for this game. This is the root of it all. This is the root of so many things in my life. Me liking video games, me being who I am. So on a personal level, this is right up there. In terms of the game itself, being a little less biased, however, it's still right up there. It's really good. Again, music fantastic. The tunes that are... Well, I say tunes, there's a couple of tunes from the Mega Drive version. They're rendered really well on the Game Gear Master System. Yuzo Koshiro did the music, so it sounds amazing. Every track's fantastic. There are, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, and I think I mentioned this on one of the days, there are no loop-de-loops in it, which is interesting because that was such a key selling point of the original Sonic 1. There's not a single one in the 8-bit version. Sonic 1 on the Game Gear, really good level design, rewards exploration in terms of finding the Chaos Emeralds. Again, totally intuitive, just a perfect, wonderful experience, and I think they found it very difficult to live up to that for many of the 8-bit games since then, and for those reasons, it is also going in the excellent tier. Sonic Eraser, then. Now, I think this one is probably going to be a foregone conclusion, but I am going to say a few things in Sonic Eraser's defense. I think, as was pointed out by Sin Fritz a couple of weeks ago, Sonic Eraser was available over the Sega MegaNet, which is a modem service. It was never going to be a full game. It wasn't intended to be a full game. I think the basic puzzle mode of this is basically alright. It's not as good as Tetris. It's not as good as Puyo Puyo. It's not as good as Columns. If they'd have just stuck Sonic in Columns, that would have probably been a better game, I dare say. Not the only Sonic puzzle game that never got a wide release at this time. There was one planned called Sega Sonic Brothers, which had two brothers for Sonic, a red Sonic and a yellow Sonic. That never came to be, but a ROM of that is available online, so maybe we'll play that as a curio at some point. Sonic Eraser, though, it's a little clunky. It's probably more fun with a second player, but good luck finding someone to play it with you. The puzzle mode, I think, is probably the hidden gem of the game. But unfortunately, having a hidden gem in a game that has as many flaws as it does, and, need I say it, the worst soundtrack of any Sonic game. It's all for nothing, isn't it? The soundtrack and the general flaws are so bad, I am going to have to put this in the bad tier. And I do feel bad about that because there is a kernel of a good idea, like I've said. But I can't put it higher than that, guys. It's not a fun experience to play, unfortunately. Waku Waku Sonic Patrol Car. Columns rules, hell yeah. Waku Waku Sonic Patrol Car is... Oh, I have once again covered up the chat box. I do apologise, guys. I'll just get that back on screen for you there. There we go. Anything you say should now appear on screen again. Waku Waku Sonic Patrol Car is a kiddie ride. It's about a minute and a half of gameplay for something to keep your kids entertained when you take them to the supermarket. It's not really intended to be a full video game experience. For that reason, even though... Oh, hang on. Having a bad soundtrack in a Sonic game is a war crime. Yes, it's also borderline impossible, and yet they found a way. Did you know there are 6 sequels to Waku Waku that never released, and then Waku Waku 7 was a fighting game? Wow, interesting. I did not know that. Oh, fake fact. Oh, you got me. Ooh, you got me good. So yes, anyway, this is not... It's fun, it's a nice little bit of silliness. It's not intended to be a video game. For that reason, I'm putting it in the unranked column. Because it's not fair to rate it against the others. In my opinion, you may have a different opinion. You may want to put it as bad, poor, okay, good, or excellent. Who knows? Sonic 2 8-bit then. Oh, yes, also it brought us the legendary Eggman. Sonic 2 8-bit is, on Game Gear, very, very difficult. On Master System, not much less difficult, but I'd say it falls more into challenging. Graphically, it's a little bit of a bump up from Sonic 1 8-bit. The music, again, is excellent. Underground Zone is an all-timer. In terms of gameplay, there are a couple of new features in there. The levels are maybe not terribly exciting, but they're serviceable. Again, you've got the exploration side of things, because you've got to physically find the Chaos Emeralds hidden in each stage. So that's cool, and again, it invites replay. I am going to say that because it's maybe a little on the tricky side, and maybe it's trying to do too many things and doesn't always quite get them across. I am going to knock it down just one peg into good. So this is still a damn good game. Don't you worry about that. Sonic 2 on the 16-bit then, Mega Drive version. I think we all know this game, don't we? I mean, again, it's another legendary Sonic game. Some great tunes on the soundtrack, some great memorable levels. Emerald Hill Zone, Chemical Plant Zone, Casino Night Zone. It informed a lot of great Sonic media, particularly Sonic the Comic. Had Emerald Hill as a regular setting. The Metropolis Zone was a regular setting. So obviously, on a personal level, a game that's very important to the things that I like about Sonic. However, it's not without its flaws. I think it's probably perhaps a little on the easy side. So whereas your 8-bit Sonic was perhaps on the challenging side, this one was maybe a little too easy. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, sometimes these games are, you know, they appeal to younger audiences, so an easy Sonic game is not bad. But I find myself wanting to go back to this one less than some of the others. I think some of the levels are a bit flat. Hilltop Zone is a recolored Emerald Hill. Now we now know why that was. That's because of design changes throughout development. But it is what it is. So yeah, some of the levels don't quite click for me. Death Egg Zone reuses sprites as well. I think Metropolis Zone might reuse a couple. So there are a few bits where it's a little rough around the edges. We did kind of think that maybe Wing Fortress wasn't quite finished, if you recall. It's not perfect. It's a good fun time, and I do like it. It did give us Tails, and we love Tails. He's a good boy. However, I am going to put it in the good tier. Up next then, we have Sonic CD, and what can we say about Sonic CD that hasn't already been said? Well, who knows, because we're going to say some stuff that has already been said about it. Graphically, it's gorgeous. Musically, it's incredible, and you've got two amazing soundtracks to pick from this time around. The level design is fantastic. If you, as we covered the other day when we played it in mirror mode, if you go from left to right, or right to left as it was, you're going to finish it in a very short time. It's not going to be a very memorable experience. But if you play it as intended, if you go out of your way to explore, if you try and get all the time stones, if you try and break all the Badnik generators, if you try and break all the hologram projectors, you are going to have a very rewarding experience with this. Going back in time and forward in time, finding all the best routes to time travel, it's a wonderfully rewarding experience that, honestly, it's better with each replay, I find. It introduced Metal Sonic, it introduced Amy. The bosses are a bit lackluster. That is the biggest criticism I have of Sonic CD. However, it's still going in the excellent tier. It's one of the all-time greats, guys, just is. Sonic Chaos. I really like Sonic Chaos. This was... I think this was the first Sonic game I ever finished, now that I think about it. Graphically, very impressive. Again, it's another little bump up from the previous 8-bit game. It's the first time Tails can fly at the player's command. It's quite easy, I would have to say. If you enter a special stage and get the Chaos Emerald, you then do not have to finish the rest of the level in which you entered that special stage, which makes an already short and easy game even shorter and easier. It's still a damn good fun time, though. Music, lovely stuff. The levels are, they're standard Sonic trope kind of levels, but they're good. They're fine. I'm going to put this one in the good tier. This is a good time. I really enjoyed Sonic Chaos, and I really enjoyed playing it again over the course of this month as well. Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, then. Arcade game. The first proper original journey into the arcade for Sonic. There was an arcade version of Sonic 1, which plays a little differently to the home console version, but I don't really consider that as being its own separate thing. Really, that's kind of a port. It's designed to steal your coins. Speaking of designed to steal your coins, Sega Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, obviously, as we know, I played this with keyboard and mouse. If you try and play this on a game controller, 90% chance it's not going to work for you guys. It just doesn't like it. It doesn't like game controllers. Even Sega themselves can't get it to work on modern game controllers. They tried. It was meant to be in Sonic Gems collection, and they couldn't get it to work to a satisfying standard. Like, they could put it in, but it would have been borderline unplayable. So I imagine with a trackball, it would have probably been a better experience. That said, I think the level design is quite repetitive. I think the voices are incredibly repetitive and often pretty annoying. And I think sometimes the levels are a little bit unfair, and it really is designed to eat your money at an arcade. A game control like a drunk tank, yeah, pretty much. I would love to play this on original hardware at some point, you know? I mean, the chances of that are microcosmic, but I'd love to see how it's meant to be played. Or even, you know, even getting my hands on a trackball and seeing if I can get it to work properly on PC. Until such a time, though, I suspect I'm not going to be able to fully grasp this one. However, I appreciate that part of the flaws of this one are on the control system that I used, not the game itself. Therefore, I am not going to put this down as a poor game. I'm going to put this as okay. Now, I think even if I played this with a trackball, it probably wouldn't go much higher than that. I don't see me putting it in the good tier. But I think it's, you know, middle of the road. I think that's kind of fair enough. Sonic Spinball, 16-bit. Despite the fact that it had me banging my head against a wall with one of the puzzles, I really like Sonic Spinball. And obviously now that I know what I'm doing when I go back to it, I'd obviously known how to do it because I've done that level before and I've just forgotten, so that's me being stupid. And maybe not everyone gets tripped up on that bit. Maybe that's just me being a dumbass all around. I quite like Sonic Spinball. I like the concept. I think it's really neat. It's a pretty decent challenge. Once you've finished it and mastered the levels, obviously it's a pinball game, so you have the challenge of going back and getting a high score, which is great. The music is fantastic. It's great. What's the one in the bad section? I don't recognise it. That's Waku Waku Sonic Patrol Car. That's one of the kiddie ride ones. Also, hey Northeast Recluse, good to see you. I like Spinball. The difficulty curve is not great. Yes, it is a game that will beat you about the head repeatedly. There are only 4 levels in it, but I think, judging it by the standards of the original hardware, that's probably okay. Because it would take you a good old while to master this one, I think. So you'd still get a full game's worth of replay value out of it. Obviously, playing it now in 2022 with save states and emulation, it's really easy to just sort of scum your way through the game. If you were playing this on the original hardware, you have to learn to get good. And as I said, that music is fantastic. And we've spoken about... Oh, the one in bad, sorry, yes. No, that's Sonic Eraser. Sorry, Northeast Recluse, I wasn't paying attention there, was I? Sonic Eraser is a puzzle game from the Sega MegaNet modem system. It's in bad largely because the soundtrack is ear-stabbingly bad. And it's got a few clunky flaws as well. Not ear-stabbingly bad is the Sonic Spinball soundtrack, which, we've discussed the grungy sound, and Lava Powerhouse is amazing. Toxic Cave's one of the great Sonic tunes. The boss theme is friggin' incredible. So good. It's difficult, it'll kick you in the teeth repeatedly, it's a fun time, honestly, and if you put in the hours to master it, you're gonna enjoy it. This is going in the good tier. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, 16-bit. It's Puyo Puyo. What do you want me to say? Puyo Puyo is fucking fantastic. It always has been, it always will be. It's a very simple, wonderful puzzle game. And this one has Sonic the Hedgehog characters in it. And it means that Scratch and Grounder and Coconuts and the Long John Baldry version of Robotnik are official Sega canon. And what more could I ask for? Love the SSSSS squad, even though they never did a SSSSS Sonic. They failed in their mission. I mean, again, what more can I say? It's Puyo Puyo. It's one of the all-time great puzzle games. It's still going to this day. It's brilliant. I am, however, going to rank it in the good category because I think because it's a Puyo Puyo game, it's a little unfair to put it as an excellent Sonic game, if you follow me. Alrighty then. Grunge greatness, hell yeah. Sega Sonic Cosmo Fighter, which is one of the other kiddie rides. Again, that's a nice little bit of fun. We found there are a couple of different endings on that one depending on your star rating, so that was a fun little bit of trivia. Again, it is a kiddie ride. I'm putting it in the unranked. It's not meant to be a full game experience. Speaking of which, Sega Sonic Popcorn Shop is also going in the unranked thing tier. It's meant to be a fun little animation you can interact with while it bakes you some popcorn. It's not a proper video game, and I think that's fair. By the way, guys, when you're playing through these, if we're playing through these, when you're compiling your tiers, when I share the list on Twitter, then, by all means, feel free to put any you've not played in unranked, just keep things fair. I did think of putting unranked / not played, but it's a little clunky, but you know what I mean. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine 8-bit then. Again, it's Puyo Puyo. However, I'm going to knock this one down a little bit, which is a shame because the puzzle mode in this is really good, and I think that's kind of the selling point of it. Given a choice between the two, particularly in this day and age with emulation, you're going to go for the 16-bit version. But the 8-bit version of puzzle mode is really fun, so I think that's worth a look in. However, the AI for the main meat of the game is really hard. Puyo Puyo matches against low-level AI should not be lasting as long as that. So with that unfortunate flaw in mind, I'm putting this one in the OK tier. And again, obviously that sort of spells out which of the two versions I would recommend. Sonic 3, and I'm going to be honest here, I'm going to rank these together, Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles. You guys know this is my favourite game of all time. Clearly this is going in the excellent tier. Now that I've put it there, I'll justify it. I'm viewing these as one game, but even if I viewed them as the two separate components, I'd still put them in excellent. Graphically, one of the most gorgeous of all the Sonic games. Musically, probably the best. You've got 3 playable characters which can change how you play through the levels. Like, all 3 of them can tackle the levels differently. They've all got their own individual abilities that make them feel unique. Knuckles has his own difficult stage layouts. We've got a 2-player mode, which is a lot of fun if you've got a second player with you. Some of the best level designs the series has ever had. Frankly, I dare say the best level designs the series has ever had. Fun boss fights. And again, as I said during the course of playing it, these games have been out from 1994, and I am still finding new things about them now. They are so deep and full of content. They are, in my opinion, the best Sonic games ever made, and when you plug them together with the lock-on technology, it's not even close. Also Michael Jackson, yeah, easy excellent, no question. There was no question that was going in the top tier. Could never get on with Puyo Puyo myself, know how to play it, but I'm no good at figuring out where to put the beans on the fly, but I do love the satire aesthetic. I think you'll find you mean the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog aesthetic. Yeah, I'm rubbish at Puyo Puyo, but it's fun. I do love it. Sonic Drift 1. Okay. This is gonna be a tricky one, actually. We have 3 Grand Prix in this game. That's not a lot of content. That's 18 tracks. Just streamed a playthrough of Knuckles game Sonic 3 complete today. Still love it. Oh, hell yeah. It's amazing. Sorry, I'm getting caught up on Sonic 3 and Knuckles again. Don't get me wax lyrical in about my favourite game. We'll be here all day. So yeah, we have 18 tracks in Sonic Drift. There's no unlockables. Your playable roster is Sonic, Tails, Amy, Robotnik. Was Knuckles playable in it? I think he was. I'm not sure. I don't even remember if Knuckles was in that one. Either way, we're looking at 4, maximum 5 characters, assuming my memory is going one way or the other. Knuckles wasn't playable, it's just the 4, yeah. So, Sonic, Tails, Amy, Robotnik. No unlockable characters, no unlockable tracks. Music's fine. I appreciate what it's going for, certainly. once you've mastered it, if you don't have a friend to play two-player with, I don't think there's any real reason to go back to it. I am going to be perhaps controversial. I'm going to put this in the poor tier. I enjoyed playing Sonic Drift, but I don't think I would think to myself, oh yeah, I really want to get back into playing Sonic Drift again, you know? The reason I'm putting it in poor is I think everything it does Sonic Drift 2 does better. So, poor doesn't mean, outright unsalvageable, of course, and, one man's treasure is another man's treasure. For me, it's not one I'd return to. Your mileage may vary on that one. Not that controversial. I remember reviewers hated it at the time. They did. I think Sonic Drift 2 was comfortably the lowest rated Sonic game in STC, and Sonic Drift 1 I don't think fared a deal better outside of STC, of course. And STC was the most biased Sonic magazine there was, let's not forget. Any game made by Sega, if that dipped below 80%, something had gone very wrong. Sonic Spinball 8-bit. Do you know what, guys? Do you know what? This is going in the good tier. I wasn't expecting that at all, because I played this and I was like, this is gonna be a bit rubbish, this one. The levels that it faithfully recreates from the 16-bit version, it does well. It maintains what's fun about those stages. It fixes a lot of my complaints with those stages as well. The levels that are noticeably changed are fun as well. So, like, instead of Toxic Caves, you've got... what was it? Like, Toxic Pools, that's what it was. So that one is actually a different stage. That's not... It's based on Toxic Caves, but it is a different layout entirely. The others are more close to the Mega Drive version. Musically, nothing much to write home about, although I do quite like the bonus stage tune, that's quite a fun one. Graphically, not too pretty. In terms of gameplay, it's fun. I had a really good time with Sonic Spinball 8-bit. Had a good old time. The bosses are pretty okay. The last boss is radically different to the Mega Drive version, so that was nice. So yeah, a bit of a sleeper hit, that one. Bit of a hidden gem. So it's in the good tier. Okay then, up next we have Sonic the Hedgehog's Game World and Tales and the Music Maker. Now, we couldn't get these to work, as you'll recall, because it is impossible to emulate the book that the Sega Pico requires to play. You can get the software to run, but good luck getting it to recognise what you're doing to the software. It's not going to happen. Regardless of that, these are very kid-friendly educational titles or little kid-friendly minigames. I think it would be unfair to rank them even if we could get them to work. So they are comfortably going to sit in the unranked tier, and I think that's okay. Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble. This is one that I think was... I wasn't sure what to expect from this one. I know that at the time it was like the reviewers, and we covered this, the reviewers are kind of getting a little sick of the Sonic formula, but now of course we appreciate that if you play a Sonic game you want the Sonic formula. Of course you do, obviously you do, otherwise you play a different franchise. But I don't think reviewers at the time fully grasped that. It built up a cult following, and it's now kind of revered as one of the better classic Sonic games. So I didn't really know which side of the fence I was going to fall down on. It is very ambitious, graphically it's lovely, musically, great as well. Good level layouts, some good bosses, good fun all around. I think it perhaps falls a little short of the ambition, but it's still a damn good time. So, with that in mind, I am going to put this not in the excellent tier, but I am going to put this in the good tier. I think that's a pretty fair assessment, in my humble opinion. Sonic generally fared really well on 8-bit. Budget gamers definitely weren't getting shafted, that's for sure. Absolutely. It was definitely better than expected. Yes, I will agree. As someone whose first console was, as I said, the Game Gear, I had a lot of these games. I never had Triple Trouble. And I did see it in shops, and for whatever reason, I never got it. So I could have played it, but I didn't as a kid. So, yeah, but it's just nice to know that, even when I was a kid, I was spoiled for choice for good 8-bit Sonic games I could take with me on my Game Gear, and it's good to know there were even more at my fingertips. Speaking of 8-bit Sonic on the Game Gear, Sonic Drift 2, or Sonic Drift Racing, was of course the European title. This one, as I said, does everything that Sonic Drift 1 does, but better. You now have Knuckles, you have Metal Sonic, you have Knack, they're all playable. You've got tracks that are doing more interesting things. The bonus, one-on-one race for getting all the Chaos Emeralds in the final GP, that's cool. It's absolutely something that makes it worth replaying in a way that the original game didn't have. We didn't see any of the character endings in either of the games, unfortunately. So you know, both of them do have reason to replay, but I think Sonic Drift 2 has more reason to replay. Some cool visual effects in it as well, really, putting the Game Gear through its paces. I had a good old time with this one, and also it was much more fun and easy to control than the original. I thought it handled a little bit better. So this one's going in the okay tier. It's not a groundbreaking one. It's still very short, still quite simple. I don't think you would necessarily play this one as much as you would some of the others, but I had a good time with it. You may, and again, here in the okay tier, you may think it belongs higher or lower than that, and I would not be arguing with your stance on that if you do. Knuckles Chaotix on the 32X. Right, I'm going to let you guys in on a secret here. I was pleasantly surprised by this one, because this is a game that I always wanted as a kid, because we weren't terribly well off when I was a kid. We got by, we were comfortable. I never wanted for anything, but we weren't in a position to spend £300 or however much it was on a 32X for one game. So this was the holy grail for me. I've long known that it has one of the best soundtracks of the classic era of Sonic, and every track on there is gorgeously realised. There's some really catchy tunes on there, some all-timers. Graphically, sometimes a little bit sensory overload, shall we say. I think, though, on the whole, it's a very nice looking game. The sprites are quite nice. Knuckles' sprite is not as good as his Sonic 3 and Knuckles sprite, but it's alright. It fits the aesthetic of the game. The level designs are a bit boring on the whole. We did generally find it was easier to just not bother interacting with the badniks. If you play the game at the speed that the developers intend you to, you pretty much have to avoid the badniks, or you're going to just run into things. I felt once I finished it, I could quite happily go back to it to get the good ending. That was one of those where it was like, we didn't do it, but we could, because there's loads of opportunity, loads and loads to get the Chaos Rings throughout the game. If you pick up enough rings, you've got absolutely plenty of chance to get all 7 of them. So I think that's one that, as a kid, I could have mastered. It was not to be, of course, during this month, but yeah, I had a good fun time with this. I would probably play this again. And I know it's a very divisive game. I have a cartridge of the NTSC version of Chaotix somewhere, even though I don't have a 32X. Saw it in a retro store and thought I have to have it. On a similar note, I have Virtual Boy Wario Land for much the same reason. I was like, well, gotta have that, obviously. Don't have a Virtual Boy. Of course I don't. Well, you think I'm crazy? But I have it. I have the game. I enjoyed Knuckles Chaotix. I think the level design being boring is unfortunately going to force me to push it into the okay tier. But it was okay. It wasn't bad. Certainly wasn't bad. If I was feeling more generous, I'd probably put it in the good tier. But the level design being quite boring, some of the levels being a little frustrating, as we saw. I appreciate what it's trying to do. I don't think it necessarily succeeds at it. It's not a bad game. I quite enjoyed it, and I wouldn't object to going back to it. I'm putting it firmly in the middle of the road. Tails Sky Patrol. Now, sorry, where were we? Gwen says, Chaotix's level design is its biggest flaw, but I adore the graphics of those special stages. Yeah, the special stages are great, actually. I really like those. And again, as I was saying while I was playing it, how mind-blowing would those special stages have looked if you were playing on an actual Mega Drive at the time? Seems like a game that's got a really high difficulty curve and needs a lot of practice to play it well. I think it's got a I wouldn't say the difficulty curve is high, but I'd say the mastery curve is high. Like, it's easy enough to figure out how to play it, but to make, to get the muscle memory to react in time and to do as the game wants to get up to speed and play properly, that's the tricky part. So yes, Tails Sky Patrol. You will remember we had to save scum the absolute dogfuck out of this one. You do have unlimited continues in it, but the thought of playing this on original hardware gives me a friggin' palpitation. If I was a kid, I would be very frustrated if I had this one. Graphically, beautiful. Music, quite lovely. Only very short, very few levels, but they knew damn well why, because they'd made a game that was incredibly difficult. So this is a game that's going to kick your ass repeatedly. I have to be honest, and I know it's a spin-off, I never felt like this was a Sonic game while I played it. And of course we know it wasn't. It started life as a different game, and Sega asked for them to put Tails in as the lead character. I would be really, really, what's the word I'm after? Apprehensive or reticent, perhaps, to say this is a bad game. And I think if you master it, as Hard Pretzel was saying the other night, they can do it on one life. I think if you master it, it's probably very, very satisfying. However, I don't imagine I would have had an awful lot of fun playing this as a kid. And even save scum in it, I wasn't having too much fun with it. I'm putting this in the poor tier. Probably one of those games that's really rewarding to master, like I say, but I don't see me going back to do it. Tails Adventure, wow, this one made me really fucking cross, didn't it? Do you know what's... the other thing that made me most... here we are. Sky Patrol seems like it would have been a decent little game if it wasn't so obnoxiously hard. I agree. I will agree with that one. I think if it wasn't so hard, I could have probably bumped this up to okay. What I'm not going to bump up to okay is Tails Adventure. And, again, graphically, very impressive. Almost on a par with Mega Drive graphics, almost. Musically, fine. The sprites look lovely. The biggest flaw of this game, and it's one they absolutely should have thought of and didn't, clearly, is it shouldn't be on the Game Gear. I'm amazed you didn't break something when playing Tails Adventure, yeah, including my head, perhaps. I think if this had a larger field of vision, if they'd have made a Master System version, I think I might have had a better time with this. It's the fact that at no point in development did they say, hey guys, we don't have a lot of screen real estate on the Game Gear. Maybe we should make Tails a bit smaller, maybe we should make the baddies a little smaller. No. I appreciate what it was going for. I appreciate the Metroidvania, as we call them, aspect of it. Going back into old levels with new abilities, that's cool. I like that. That's very fun. Jumping and flying, weird. Didn't feel right. And it was constantly throwing me off, as I'm sure you guys will remember. Is this the only game you quit this month? Yeah, this is the only game I rage quit. There were a couple where I was like, okay, I'm not going to get to it. Like, we didn't finish either of the Mean Bean Machine games, but I kind of knew I wasn't going to, because it's Puyo Puyo and you basically the whim of randomness on that one, so I didn't expect to finish that. Tales of Adventure I actually hoped I might finish, and I didn't. It kicked my ass. Judging by the amount of cheap shots you took, it would have benefited from a wider field of view. I agree. See, this is the thing, right? I think if this had been a Mega Drive game, I think we'd have been saying, yeah, it's pretty good. It's really, it does ambitious things. It has a cool concept. And it does! This is the thing, it's got great ideas, and it fumbles the fuck out of them because nobody said, the screen is too small for this game in its current form. Nobody said that. During development, at no point did anyone say, we're putting this on their own console. Because it made me unbelievably angry, it's a little difficult for me to not be biased on this one, but to be honest, that is such a ridiculous fuck-up of game design, and unfortunately it led, as a cascading domino effect, to every other single problem in the game, except for one, which was the inventory management, which is its own stupid game design flaw. I'm going to have to put this in the bad tier. I am going to say this, though. Now, I know we've got a team of people that are... or it might actually just be the one person, in terms of the programming at least, that are remaking Sonic Triple Trouble in a 16-bit style. That's made a few appearances at Sage. I think it's going to be at this year's Sage event as well. It's almost certainly going to be. I would like to see someone remake Tails' Adventure in a 16-bit style. Give me Tails' proper flight from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Give me a better inventory management system. And give me a wider field of vision. And I think this game could be salvageable. I think I could bump that from bad, possibly to good. So if there are any fan game makers out there that want a challenge, remake Tails' Adventure. I'll play it on stream. I'll do it, and we'll see. We'll see if we'll see if it's the game or just me being crap that's made me put it in the bad tier. But there we go. This is it. Remake it and iron out the flaws. Yeah. See, like with Sonic Triple Trouble, like I appreciate the remake. I think that's cool. But I think with that, it's not to remake it to get out of the flaws. That's to remake it to put more eyes on it. And I like that because clearly they're passionate about it. But I think remaking a game like Tails' Adventure as a fan game to make it good, because it's, again, like Sonic Eraser, like a lot of these games, there's a kernel of a good idea. And they just fumbled it in one way or another. I think Tails' Adventure could be a good game on the Mega Drive, but it wasn't on the Mega Drive, so it's a bad game. Moving on to things that weren't on the Mega Drive, then Sonic Labyrinth. This is the butt of all jokes. This one was the one that I think, and I believe I said this on stream, people generally agree that this is the consensus one. You know, a lot of people sort of argue back and forth about, oh, you can't really include Sonic Eraser. Oh, no, Tails' Adventure's good if you give it time. Nah, Sonic Drift, it's okay, it's short, but it's fine. I think this was the one that everyone generally agrees by a common consensus is the first bad Sonic game. And you know something? Do you know something, viewers? I really enjoyed it. I would be tempted to say that it's not really a Sonic game, but I mean it kind of is, because it's not a reskin of another title. It started life as a Sonic game. It's a Sonic game, it's a spin-off, you know, it's okay to break the rules. I do feel like, so, you know, if you have to come up with a reason, oh, Sonic's moving slow in this game because Robotnik stole his shoes, maybe at that point somebody probably should have said, well, if we're changing that about the character and we're having to say, well, hang on a second, he doesn't feel like Sonic anymore, maybe you don't make it a Sonic game. But if they'd have made it another game, would it have sold, is the question, and the answer's probably no. I enjoyed this. It was nicely challenging. The time limits were fair. The level layout, aside from in that, you know, the last one that really genuinely was a labyrinth and was throwing us all over the place, there was nothing we couldn't figure out through a bit of exploration, and we like exploration in our Sonic games. I liked the mechanics of it. I liked the way it played. I generally liked the way that Sonic controlled. I would say, however, it is incredibly short. With save states, we finished this in about 22 minutes. Without save states, it took us an hour. Now, fair enough, we didn't get the good ending, I'll grant you. But that's a game that's too short, either way. You know, to rack up a 22-minute time, which, you know, a lot of those cock-ups we were making that we were save stating on were me being pretty stupid, it must be said. I think this was probably a little too easy and a little too short, and I might have felt a touch ripped off if I'd have bought it at £40, shall we say. That said, not a bad experience. I'm sorry, guys, I've got a flow against common consensus. Put this in the OK tier. This one was alright. Never understood why people think Sonic's shoes are the source of his speed. All they do is make it easier for him to reach such speeds. It's because they don't know the true canon, you know? They don't know the one true Sonic canon. I'm going to move the chat box, actually, because it... Actually, no, I'm going to leave it over Sonic. We'll ignore that. Talking rubbish, ignore me. Any ending is a good ending. Exactly. I'll agree, Homer. And we reached the ending in it, and that counts. We've seen Sonic in other media. He's not exactly slow in the crippled tortoise without the sneakers. Exactly. And I think that's true of all adaptations of Sonic as well. Okay. Up next, we have Sonic Championship, or Sonic the Fighters, depending on which region. Now, this is a game that I think is probably not likely to be played at EVO anytime soon. As fighting games go, it's not especially deep. But it is very, very fun. And with a second player, it's even more fun. The music is really quite nice as well. It's visually beautiful. Like, the character models are so good. They just capture all the fun and the cuteness and the coolness of the Sonic characters and all the charm of each individual playable character. Like I say, the fighting engine itself is not that deep, but it's doing different things, and I appreciate that. It's kind of, it's fighting Vipers, which wasn't the deepest fighting game to begin with, but with Sonic characters, and that's fine. It's fun. I like Sonic the Fighters. It's a good bit of knockabout silliness, and that, honestly, is all you can really ask for out of a Sonic game. Is it short? Yeah, but we have to remember, of course, this was an arcade game. And fighting games, of course, are a little different to your coin munchers because they want a cycle of fresh players on that one. They want more people queuing up to put money in. So a shorter experience on a fighting game is not a bad thing. It's a good thing in the era of arcades. The more people that are queuing up to go, oh, hey, I want to be player 2, I want to fight you next, the better. The one-player mode is fine. It's a good little bit of fun. Again, it's super short on console. In the arcades, it would have been a lovely bit of fun. And it would have felt well at home among many of its arcade brethren. I think this is a success of a game. It sets out to do something. It nails it. It is a success, like I say. It gives us Bean. Exactly. It gives us Bean. It gives us Bark. Amy has the hammer for the first time. I think this is a good game. And for that reason, I'm putting it in the good tier. Good stuff. Sonic Schoolhouse. Now, this was an experience, wasn't it? Okay, now let's jump the gun a little bit on this one. It's an education title. I'm not ranking it. I'm putting it in the unranked tier. I think it would be unfair to rank edutainment titles alongside Sonic CD and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. That would be a bit mean. So to give you my summation, yeah, that's the word. Top tier game, I will hear nothing less. To give you a proper summation, I think this is a very shallow game. I think there is very little wonder that it did not take off with young children or with schools. The educational value itself is incredibly low. I think that it would probably appeal only to the absolute youngest Sonic fans. However, I think it would appeal to the youngest Sonic fans, and on that basis, I think its existence is worthwhile. I think it justifies its existence because I'm just thinking, little me, if I was a 5-year-old kid that had just got into Sonic, and I had this on the computer, I'd be a me element. I would absolutely love it. Where are we? What other Sonic game has a New Jersey kangaroo? Exactly. Even for an educational game, it's bad. Educational games can be good and well made. They can, and I think this one is not good or well made. And I had plenty of fun CD-ROM games, and I've had some educational CD-ROM games when I was a kid, and they were good. They were great. I only caught a brief glimpse of the stream. I can't get used to Sonic sounding like he's only about 8 years old. Yeah, like they had Sonic voiced by a woman and pitched up. Like you can have one or the other, but to do both, it just makes him very squeaky. Justify your existence, yes, absolutely. I give 6-year-old me more credit than that. Yeah, sure. Sorry, 9-year-old me. I'm guessing that's what we meant to press. Call the shift key, perhaps. I think that's fair. But I'm just thinking, like, if I was a wee little kid, I'd be like, oh, it's Sonic, and he's talking, and he's my friend. So I think it justifies its existence. I wouldn't call it good. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily the best purchase. In fact, I'd say, again, it's very shallow. It's probably not worth a look in. But a look in we gave it anyway. Sonic 3D Flicky's Island, or Sonic 3D Blast, if you are of the American persuasion. This came quite late in the Mega Drive's lifespan. I have very vivid memories of this period in time. We did only play the Mega Drive version. The Saturn version improves on the graphics quite a bit. The music is completely changed. I don't prefer the Saturn soundtrack. I know some people love the Saturn soundtrack. I prefer the Mega Drive soundtrack. That's personal preference, of course, and it's not going to impact on any ranking that I give to the game. What I do think, though, is I think this absolutely squeezed... 5-year-old, sorry. I think this squeezed everything it could out of that console. In terms of what the Mega Drive was capable of, again, we saw some really impressive visual tricks. The FMV intro, for God's sake. How they managed to do that on that hardware is incredible. And I do recommend checking out Game Hut's videos about Sonic 3D, showing how they did these things. It's very, very interesting. Even if you don't understand programming stuff like me, I found that stuff really clever. Musically, brilliant. That's the Mega Drive sound chip pushed to its limits, and it's beautiful. Green Grove Zone, Act 1, one of my all-time favourite Sonic tracks. I love it, and I'm so glad that it's returned a few times as well. It's there in Sonic Adventure. It's there in one of the Olympic Games, video games. Just a great tune. And it's full of great tunes. Rusty Ruin Zone. You've got a Volcanic Valley, which is atmospheric. Diamond Dust, which is really fun and wintry and cool. Just brilliant soundtrack. I like that it tries something different. 3D Blast is good. The learning curve is a cliff. It's easy until it's very hard. Yes, I think that's possibly the one thing I would say against it. But again, thinking in terms of getting your replay value on a full price £40 Mega Drive game, I think that's probably fair enough. You know, if I was playing this as a kid, I would play through it repeatedly to get better and better at the stages and progress further, and that's not a bad thing. Here as a boring adult, I have save stated my way through the game, but you know, whatever. It's a good game. Is it as good as its direct predecessor, Sonic 3 and Knuckles? No, of course it's not. But it's a good game. And it gave us the upturned spikes that Sonic the Comic used for ages. It's going there in the good tier. Sonic Blast on the, 8-bit systems, we'll say, because it's mainly on the Game Gear. Brazil got it on the Master System, that's what we played it on. I can't imagine for 1 second enjoying this on the Game Gear because of how closed in the field of view is. On the Master System, it wasn't bad. Until we got to the water level, and it was the worst shit imaginable. You guys who tuned in yesterday morning will have seen what a miserable time I had on those stages. The last couple of areas of the game, significantly harder than the first 3 levels. I can't go back to Sonic 3D myself. The whole escort thing and the difficulty curve suddenly shooting through the roof puts me right off. That's fair. I mean, in fairness, like if you're going to say to me, pick a Sonic game to go and play for the next 2 hours, clearly I'm not going to pick Sonic 3D. Unless I just fancy it out of the blue. If you're saying pick a favourite, obviously I'm going to pick one of the others. But yeah, it was a painful old experience yesterday. Just me repeatedly drowning and failing to make jumps, and the level layout not being intuitive. It's a very short game with only 15 stages. Granted, there's an extra boss if you get all the Chaos Emeralds, but an extra boss isn't really that big of a pull. Yeah, stupidly hard for all the wrong reasons. It was honestly one of the worst experiences I've had throughout the whole month. Like, I wasn't tearing my hair out at it, but it wasn't fun, and I very nearly rage quit that one yesterday as well. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Is it salvageable? Maybe. I think if I played it on the Game Gear, I would have had a miserable time. I played it on the Master System, I had an okay time. I'm going to say, I'm going to court controversy again. Purely because we played the Master System version, I'm putting it in the poor tier. If we'd have played the Game Gear version, if the Master System version didn't exist, that would be bad. Graphically, it's not very nice to look at. Musically, it's pretty forgettable. The bosses are okay. As soon as we figured out the pattern for the last boss, it was basically pointless. It was an exercise in wasting my own time at that stage. The that water level was horrendous. The first 3 stages were so easy as to be laughable. The last 2 were either astonishingly difficult or, frankly, just badly designed. So yeah, like I say, had I played this on the Game Gear, that would have been an easy bad. It was obviously the game needed to be played on a Master System. Yes, 100%. That's the only thing that's salvaging it from being in the bad tier. Had I played that on the Game Gear, that would have been bad, no question. So then, Sonic R is the last game, and I mean, you guys saw what a good time I was having that, even though it was kicking my ass today. I like Sonic R. It's a really fun little game. It's got wonderful music, and it's so cheesy, and it's so 90s, but I love it. It's earnest, and it means it. So, it means everything it says. Every message that those games have come from the heart. It's got a little bit of fan service. You've got Egg Robo in there. You've got Metal Sonic. You've got new characters: Tails Doll, Metal Knuckles. It is probably the most successful of the Sonic racing games from the classic era. It's been outdone by Sumo Digital's output. I think it's fairly safe to say. I could feel the sunshine. Yes, I will. I think the level design on this it's pretty good. It's pretty fun stuff. Playing as a character that wouldn't slam into the walls repeatedly might have given a different outcome today. Finding the Chaos Emeralds gives you replay value. Finding the character tokens gives you replay value. There's stuff to go back to here. It is too short. There's no question about it. It's absolutely too short. If I paid 40, 50, 60 pounds for this at launch and then finished it in an afternoon, which is what I did when I played it in the GameCube version for the first time, I would have been astonishingly upset. But I kind of don't mind it in isolation on its own now. And obviously on Gems Collection it was in there with Sonic the Fighter and Sonic CD and a bunch of extra unlockables, so finish it in an afternoon. Oh well, never mind, there's a bunch of other really fucking good Sonic games on here, never mind, eh? I like Sonic R. It's full of character, it's a very honest game, it's just a nice time. It's never going to be Mario Kart, it's never going to be F-Zero, but it's a nice bit of knockabout fun, and honestly, that's fine by me. This one's going in the good tier. I have a lot of nostalgia for Sonic R. I used to play it all the time, but I do think it benefited from having an analog controller. Yes, the GameCube version is unquestionably the better version of the game. It is the PC version, as I said. So if you can't get hold of a GameCube, grab it on PC. Make sure you get the 2005 version though, because the older version will not work on modern machines. But yeah, I recommend Sonic R easily. So here we are then, guys. These are the tiers. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unranked, 2 in bad, 3 in poor, 5 in okay. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in good, and 5 in excellent. And that, to me, pretty well says that these games are, on the whole, from this era, you're going to have a good time. So let's rank them individually then. Obviously, unranked means unranked. We're not going to bother putting these in any specific order. It's impossible, really, to judge these against one another because they're all playing to different criteria. None of them are traditional video game experiences, so that's that, basically. The bad tier, then, I'm going to be honest with you here, guys. It drove me mad. Tales of Adventure is still better than Sonic Eraser. At least it's a full game, so it's almost not fair. It looks nicer, it sounds nicer, and I think, while I would say both of them have a kernel of a good idea, Tales of Adventure has more good ideas generally. Poor tier then. Sonic Blast, Tails, Sky Patrol, and Sonic Drift. Of these three, I think I'm probably going to leave Sonic Drift where it is. That's, it's sets out to be a racing game. It succeeds in being a racing game. We've got 3 different genres here. We've got a racing game, a platform, and a rail shooter, if indeed we can call it a rail shooter. I think, other than the water level in Sonic Blast, it was basically fine in terms of the gameplay. Like, it was too easy. Absolutely, it was well too easy for those first 3 levels. And then again, some of the later stuff was a bit cheap. We were getting hit by enemy placement that was, there was no way to react to it. I do feel there's more of a deep game in Blast than there is in Tales of Sky Patrol, though. And I feel bad about criticising Tales of Sky Patrol so much because it's trying to do something different, and again, it didn't start life as a Sonic game, but perhaps that's why it feels more like it belongs bottom of that tier. Can't argue with any of that. I'm not so keen on Sonic the Fighter myself. Don't like how it's possible to lose any means of blocking attacks. That's true. Wacky Wacky top tier. You'll never be happy until we've done that. Okay, in the okay tier then, Sega Sonic, 8-Bit Mean Bean Machine, Sonic Drift 2, Chaotix, and Sonic Labyrinth. Okay. I am going to put Chaotix at the head of this tier. It's graphically lovely, musically lovely. It doesn't always succeed where it tries, but try it did. So yeah, I'm going to put that top. Here's where it's going to get tricky though, isn't it? Sega Sonic, 8-Bit Mean Bean Machine, Drift 2 and Labyrinth. Wow. Because these games are so sort of middle of the road, it is actually quite difficult for me to rank them individually. I think I probably had the most fun playing Sonic Drift 2 out of these, I would say. That was the one where I felt the best when I succeeded in it. In that regard, I am also going to knock Sonic Labyrinth up a couple of ranks. And that actually feels about right, looking at it like that. I'm pretty content with that. Again, maybe if I played Sega Sonic using a trackball, I might have bumped that up a couple of spaces, but that feels right. Good tier, right, this is where things are going to get interesting then, isn't it? Gosh, wow, okay. 8-bit and 16-bit Sonic 2, Sonic Chaos, 8-bit and 16-bit Sonic Spinball, 16-bit Mean Bean Machine, Triple Trouble, Sonic the Fighters, Flicky's Island, and Sonic R. Ah, wow, these are all good. Well, of course they're all good, that's why I put them all in good tier. What a stupid thing to say. Right, which one would I say is the best out of these? I'm going to be honest, guys. The best one is probably 16-bit Sonic 2, isn't it? I don't think that's a controversial statement. I think that's probably fair enough entirely. I think following that, I would probably be inclined to put Sonic 3D, which again I think is probably fair enough and not that controversial. Your opinion may vary. Let's see now. I put Sonic Chaos ahead of 8-bit Sonic 2. I'd put Sonic Spinball ahead of 8-bit Sonic 2. I don't know if I put it ahead of Sonic Chaos. That's tricky. I might leave that as it is, actually. That looks alright to me. 8-bit Sonic Spinball, I might be tempted to put here. Triple Trouble. Ooh, it's getting hard, guys. It's getting difficult. Oh, do you know, I've done that and I regret it immediately. No. 16-bit Mean Bean Machine's going ahead of 8-bit Sonic Spinball. I'm sorry, it just is. It's Puyo Puyo. I can't put it down too harsh. I've already got it at the bottom of the okay tier. I can't put it at the bottom of the good tier as well. Triple Trouble is probably a more rewarding experience than Spinball 8-bit, and that's probably fair. Sonic the Fighters. Oh man, I want to put that quite high up actually, because it's just fun and silly and daft, and I love it. I'm going to put that... Oh, gosh, I don't know. I really don't know. This is so difficult. I'm going to put it there. And I think that's probably fair. And again, this is all just my opinion. You may disagree, and you're very welcome to. Sonic R. Right, I'm going to put above these... No, I'd say Sonic R is probably better than Sonic the Fighters. Is it better than Sonic 2 8-bit? I had more fun with it, perhaps, but I don't think that means it... Oh, do you know what? Yeah, I'd put it above Sonic 2 8-bit. Would I put it above Spinball? I'm going to leave it there, just for now. I think that looks probably about right. That looks pretty fair to me. Cool. Excellent tier. Now again, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I'm rating these as one game. It's the best game ever made, so clearly that's going there. You all knew I was going to put it there. Which leaves us with Sonic 1 16-bit, Sonic 1 8-bit, and Sonic CD. And Sonic CD, I'm afraid, is going to have to go there. Because it's just friggin' excellent, isn't it? Well, of course it is. That's why it's in the excellent tier. So Sonic 1 16-bit and Sonic 1 8-bit. Ooh. This is actually tough. But I think I'm going to leave that like that, because I think if I move Sonic 1 8-bit any higher up, that would just be personal bias. So let's see what we have here. Oops. Is that what I want? Save? Oh, here we are. Nope. Can I please inspect this image? Download image. Oh, there we are. Right. So I just need to very quickly change the window capture here, don't I? Do 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 do. Oh, whack. Can I find the damn thing, can I, Al? Do you know what, let's just do a full screen capture, because it's not going to show up properly otherwise, I don't think. Or is it? Sorry guys, I'm just titting about with Streamlabs trying to get this to work, and it's not playing fair. Is that gonna do? No, that's internet security. We don't want that. No, 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 no. Goodness me. Oh, here we are. Photos. Is it going to display? Of course it's not going to display. That would just make sense, and we can't have that, can we? Oh, never mind. We'll just switch it back to how it was originally. It's being silly, isn't it? Well, I'll tell you what, guys. Either way, we'll put the finished image on... Oh, now that I say that, it's bloody working, isn't it? State. Oop. Spoke too soon, didn't I? Bollocks. Here we go. Here we go. Goodness me. Honestly. Oh no, what is going on? All I want to do is make it look nice for you all. Oh, there was a button here that said presentation mode. Is that what we want? No, it was not. Oh, screw it. It'll do. So here we are then, guys. We've got them all on one screen at least. I'll put this on my Twitter. We'll put it. Maybe I'll pin it in my pinned post. So this is the end results of Sonic Month. Where are we? My ranking would be different, but not enough I'd argue any of these spots. I rank some of these differently. I can't argue with any of these picks. 16-bit Sonic 2 is my favourite video game of all time. It not being an excellent tier breaks my heart. It's close. It's really close. I so nearly wanted to put it in excellent. It is, of course, an iconic game. For me, it's the fact that it's a touch easy, and there's a couple of things that it just doesn't stick the landing on. But I mean, top of the good tier versus bottom of the excellent tier. I mean, really, there's nothing in that. If you want to put that in excellent tier, I am not going to argue. You know, I think that's fine either way. So here's the final stats then, guys. Oh no, and I've got a camera that's peeking over the top of the thing. There we go. Move my face again. So here we are. The finished end product. In the unranked tier, we've got Waku Waku Sonic Patrol Car, Sega Sonic Cosmo Fighter, Sega Sonic Popcorn Shop, Sonic the Hedgehog's Game World, Tales of the Music Maker, and Sonic Schoolhouse. And then, from worst to best, we have Sonic Eraser, Tails Adventure, Tails Sky Patrol, Sonic Blast, Sonic Drift 1, 8-bit Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Labyrinth, Sonic Drift 2, Knuckles Chaotix, 8-bit Sonic Spinball, Triple Trouble, 16-bit Mean Bean Machine, Sonic the Fighters, 8-bit Sonic 2, Sonic R, Sonic Spinball 16-bit, Sonic Chaos, Sonic 3D, 16-bit Sonic 2, 8-bit Sonic 1, 16-bit Sonic 1, Sonic CD, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the best game of all time. You knew I was going to put that top. So, if you guys would like to supply your own list of Sonic games, ranking them, I am going to share this list via my Twitter once we go offline. So I'd be really interested to see what you guys make of all this. I'd love to compare notes, see what you guys think about the Sonic franchise. And wow, do you know what? I can't believe I've actually played all these games this month. And maybe I'll come back to some of them again down the line. What a good old series. What a brilliant bloody series Sonic the Hedgehog is. And that, guys, is going to do it for tonight. And more than that, it's going to do it for Sonic Month. Can you believe it? It was an awesome month, Hanaroni Hime. Can you believe it? 31 days, 31 games of the classic era. We have done it. I'm going to be streaming Sonic the Comic almost every morning next month, do as many of what I have left as I can. Awesome! Looking forward to that. Hopefully I'll be able to catch a few if I'm not at work. This is a really nice thing to do this month. I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you guys have enjoyed it, because this is not the original plan I had for July. I was going to do a 24-hour stream. I'm glad I did this instead. I think this has worked out much better. We've been able to give these games a fair shake on the whole. We've done plenty of fun bonus content as well, and there's still so much more to do. I bloody love this series so much. Even some of the weaker games are still alright, and that, honestly, to me, kind of says it all. A very, very, very good series. Thank you all. It's been really lovely, and it's been nice to know that you guys have enjoyed it as well. Going forward, then, there will be further Sonic streams at some point. I would love to do Sonic Adventure, which I've mentioned before. There are other more recent Sonic games I would like to play. And also, now that Sonic Month is at an end, I'm probably going to branch out and play some other games a little bit. I'm not going to be on daily going ahead. I'm probably going to aim. I'm going to aim to do twice a week. I might do more, I might do less. But I'm going to aim to do twice a week. It's been really fun playing these games. I'm gonna branch out and play some non-Sonic for a while, I think. We'll see what happens. I want to set up the old WWE Universe if I can get that running. There's some Dragon Ball stuff I want to play at some point soon. Just loads and loads of fun games I want to share with you guys. And the way I look at it, if I'm going to play them anyway, I might as well play them on stream and you guys can enjoy the benefit of them, right? I don't know what the next stream will be. That might be a bit of a mystery. I'm probably going to have to go away and think about that for a while. It might just be like set up for Universe mode. We can have a just chatting stream as I download a bunch of stuff, maybe. Who knows? That could work out quite nicely. Or we could build some arenas together. I'm going to say, though, I've thoroughly enjoyed every one of these streams. Even Tails Adventure, when it made me really very cross. I've enjoyed all of these streams. I've enjoyed sharing this experience with you. I've enjoyed playing these games. It's just been a bloody lovely time, and I've really enjoyed every second of it. And I'm glad that I've kept you guys entertained, or at least I hope I have. I mean, there's positive feedback so far, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. And long may that continue. Hopefully I'll be able to keep on entertaining you guys here on stream, and of course with my brothers over at New Legacy Inc., which you should be following on Twitch if you aren't already. I think I'm going to start wrapping up now, guys. So let's see, what Sonic-y things have we got to advertise? You can head to my Twitter, LT Dangerous. I'll share the tier maker on there, and I'd love to see your guys' responses to that. I want to compare and contrast. You can find the video on demand for Sonic Month and all my other streams that are still available here on twitch.tv/LT Dangerous. You can find them at youtube.com/BuzzBomber. I'm going to aim to get the last 3 nights uploaded this evening or overnight into tomorrow, so they'll all be there for you to watch at your leisure, basically. You can head to stconline.co.uk to read Sonic the Comic Online, of which I've written a number of comic strips for them, including the lead strip on the current issue. You can head to... Oh, I've not advertised this once the whole stream. What an idiot. blurb.co.uk/LT Fletcher, and make sure the LTF are capitalised or it doesn't work, wherein you can buy my books, including Sharper Than a Cyber Razor Cut, The History of Sonic the Comic, 1993 to 2018, the first 25 years of STC. We've got input from artists, writers, editors, everyone that near enough that's helped make that comic be what it is over the course of 25 years in one fantastic narrative, and loads of cool bonus features I was very happy to put in there. So I'd love it if you guys check that out. You can head to sonicamalgam.com, as in amalgamation, wherein you can read my big, long, extensive Sonic the Hedgehog fanfiction. New chapters every Monday. So tomorrow we've got a new one going up, then, as a result. And I think that's going to do it. So, let's end as we started, shall we? We've gotta put this on to say farewell to Sonic Month. But maybe not the last Sonic Month. Who knows? Who knows what next year might bring? Maybe I'll do another one. Thank you all for joining in. It's been lovely. So from me, and Sonic, and Knuckles, we will catch you again. You guys all please take care. It's been lovely having you here, and I'll see you soon. Take care, and stay Sonic.